Creating content doesn't have to be hard. All you need is a little inspiration and maybe a couple of free tools. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about how you can get inspiration from the articles that you read and turn that into a LinkedIn post. And last week, we worked on how we can build that framework out so that you can take the same article and your thoughts and turn it into a video. And today, we are going to bring our video to life. So it could be something like this.
AI is transforming Canadian businesses, but without a clear AI policy, companies risk data exposure, legal troubles, and a loss of trust. It's not just about compliance, it's about responsibility and reputation. The real question is, how soon can you implement your AI policy to stay ahead?
So if you're ready to take your inspiration and turn it into a faceless video on autopilot, then grab your coffee or your drink of choice and meet me at the computer. Okay, so here we are at the computer, and this is the Google Sheet that we worked on last week. So you've got everything that you need right here that can feed into your video. So one thing that you might find easier, I just wanted to show this little trick here. You probably already know it, but just in case. If you go into format and we do some conditional formatting, if you really want this where you need a clip to pop, this is all you have to do. Go to the left here, and then we're going to use a text. Maybe text is exactly, that's probably easiest. And we can say need clip. And then I'm going to change this to yellow so it's a little bit less space, you know. There we go, done. And then you can just kind of copy that formatting over by just highlighting the column and then hit your little paintbrush right here and select the next column, right? So this way, at least you can visually see when you're working on your worksheet if you've got anything missing. So this is when you're doing kind of a final check before you push this through to the workflow we are going to work on. So what we're doing is we're building out a video template. We've got our B-roll links here. So this is something we covered in last week's video. And the whole point here is that in Slack, we put in an article link and our thoughts, and then it's going to run through all of this for us to be able to fill in that Google Sheet. And of course, I will have this linked in the description below. But what we're going to need is a template. Like I said, we've got our Google Sheet, so we're going to feed all of that into a template. And I'm using Shotstack. We've covered this in previous videos. And you can create a template from scratch. But what we're going to do, because I'm going to actually have the JSON code for the template we're building today in the description, but I'll show you how you easily upload that. So I'm going to use that previous template that we just saw. This was what was available from that other video. But what we're going to do is just copy all of the JSON code. Don't worry about my notes at the top. Like that's it. So I'm just going to Control-C, copy this. And if I take this back over to Shotstack, see on the lower left, it says JSON. Click on that, highlight this, but then I could just go Control-V to paste over it. Once I click out of the JSON, you'll see that this is going to populate for us. So see, there it is. It's right there. So this is how you can upload the template. I will have this template that we're building or redoing in the description below. So what we're going to do, because this one actually had 4 video clips and an AI text to speech, we're going to replace one of the video clips with the image, and I'm going to use 11 labs. So you can, I'll tell you what you can skip and what you might want to keep, right? So here, the very first one, we had a placeholder text. So that was kind of a text overlay. I'm not going to use it for this. So you can just delete that whole track. It's not a big deal. So this was our AI text to speech, which is built into Shotstack here. And we've got, if you can see there, the text, we have the double curly brackets narration. That's really from a merge field, which is really, really cool. Like, having our merge fields is super helpful, by the way. But I'm going to replace this with, I just have a short audio track, just so that this is just a placeholder for me right now. And then this one, again, this double curly bracket narration, this is a merge field. So up in the upper right-hand corner, these are all of our merge fields. Just think of it like a mail merge or something. The double curly brackets for the text. Now these are all videos. Those are videos, placeholders, but whatever, we'll remove that. And then this topic merge field here, I can delete that. I might have cut off on the right, but there's a negative sign that you can just delete it, because we're not going to need that merge field. We've removed that whole track. So this track here, I can do the same thing. I can delete it just by clicking this delete icon. Of course. And this audio instead, because it's an audio track, not text, I can still use the merge field, but it's going to be in a different way. I don't put in double curly brackets. It's just because it's an audio, I can just do that and click on narrative. Now this you'll see when we get into the automation, how this will work. So there you go. That's your merge field. I'm going to keep the volume at 1 because I want that to sound like me. Now you can skip that. You could have kept the other one if you want to use the AI video. So now clip 1, that's fine. This is a video clip. I'm deleting it. That's a video clip and that's a video clip. So you can see that these are all the merge fields from like whatever is in our, and that's clip 4. So whatever's in our Google Sheet, right? So that's why we have it set up that way. We want to make sure that this one, we're going to change the timing. We have it at 2.8. We're going to have them, because we're looking at a 20 to 30 second clip. We'll have each of these at like 5 seconds, except for the last one. We're going to put that at 15 because for the first 3 will be 5 seconds each. We'll start at 15. So this one is we're just going to move this over. Move this to be, it's going to be starting at 5 seconds or 10 seconds. That's right. Not 5 because that's our image. And we're going to let it last for 5 seconds. There we go. And this, the last one, or the voice is going to be auto. Auto just means it's going to automatically adjust the entire video based on the length of your voice. This last tiny itty bitty clip there, we move that to the end because it will automatically go to the end of that, of the whole clip. And then right here, this blank spot is where we're going to put in an image. So on the left here, I've got some images uploaded anyway, but I can just click, no, not that, just click on the actual image. It puts it on a new track, but I can move this. I can just select it and drag it down to here. And then again, on the left-hand side here, see, I can adjust the timing. So I'm going to have that at exactly 5 seconds for exactly 5 seconds, and then they'll all match up. But because it's a static image, I'm going to put in an animation. So just the animation at the top, a slow zoom in. These are the transitions. It's like how it comes in and out of the frame. With this, here we go. And then that merge field, this is clip 2, which is what's going to be in our, or what is already in our Google Sheet. So all of this just kind of lines up. This bottom track here is audio that I already have, but you can kind of see through. You're not going to necessarily see it with the image because it's it's in edit format, but I've done this so many times. There we go. And now I'm going to just rename this to article to video. Perfect. And then just a quick save. And now this is it. This is all it takes to do our template. And now what we'll have to do is do a make.com to connect this. So in the connection field here, you can see you can connect it to TikTok. I already have my Google Drive connected, and this is just like your regular authorization, that pop-up where you have your email address, etc. So you have the connection there. So make sure that that's connected, because what's going to happen once this is rendered, it goes into your Google Drive. It's real simple. There you go. But I've already got mine connected. So this is when you first set it up. Right, so now we're going to move over to, this is the workflow, the make.com workflow. Why did that go blank? I don't know. There we go. I just downloaded this workflow. That's all you have to do. So when you see the link in the description below, just do the same thing. Now in make.com, we're just going to click that purple create a scenario when this opens up. And at the bottom here, the 3 dots, see this import blueprint? We can choose the file, and we're going to choose the file we just downloaded. There we go. Boom. Now this is the short tips video that we created in the past. So I'm going to just rename this articles to Shotstack. So this is fundamentally the exact same thing. I'm going to change a few things around. So like I said, I want to add in 11 labs, and instead of doing this cell by cell, we're going to pull a full row from our Google Sheet. Okay, so because you don't have to do it this way, I did it this way just to make it just to show exactly how to do this. But instead, what we're going to do is pull this as a row. So I can take all of these, if I hold down Shift and drag over, and then click delete. My little magic auto align right there, and then I'm going to just, after this search rows, I want to make sure that I've got the right, it's this one, that I've got the right Google Sheet that I'm calling in here. So it's going to be the content calendar. For me, this is going to be my e-shorts. Okay, so we're going to need to make sure that that's right. And we don't really have to worry about any of this. I'm going to change out this posting date. I'm going to order this by the row number instead. And it's not a date, it's a number. And then sort it ascending. And we're just going to pull one at a time. So we're just going to click save. I get that one every once in a while. Just click save. There you go. That's fine. Don't worry about this with the Shotstack right now because we haven't linked proper information yet. So we're going to add a module, and we're going to do our Google Sheets again. But this time it's going to be getting a range of values, like getting from a row. So it's getting a range of values. So that way we'll get all of the information. So this is going to be, make sure you've got the right connection. I've got a few, that's why. The spreadsheet ID, of course, is going to be content calendar. And the sheet name is going to be our e-shorts. So we want to pull in the information from that one column. The range, I'm just taking a look here. We're going to start from the LinkedIn post, I think. So that's column F. And then we're going to end here at U. F-U. That was unintentional. And the number, because it has to be the cell. The number, it's going to come from our increment to U there. So like if we're at row 2 or 3 or 4, it's just going to pull from there, right? So that's our range of values that we're going to pull, and we can put it into Shotstack. But first, I'm going to add a module, and I'm going to use 11 labs. Now this you can skip, as I mentioned before, because if you want to use the Shotstack AI video, text to video. So in my 11 labs connection, the voice I'm going to use at the very bottom is my own. So if you have your own 11 labs, that'll be fine. And just use the bottom one. The text that we're going to pull, it's going to come from this get a range of values here. But I just want to double check what the narrative is in G. So I'm just going to select a G from this list right here. The stability is going to be like, this is how much inflection there would be in the voice kind of thing. So I'm going to say 0.75. It has to be no more than 1. And then the similarity boost, the max is 1. And this one, I like it because then it will sound more like you. It sounds more like your voice. It's almost like your exact voice. Nothing crazy going on. What we still have to do, though, is we're going to have to put this into a Google Drive or a Dropbox folder. So that we can add the link to our Google Sheet. That makes sense. So I'm going to upload a file to Google Sheets. I'm just going to click that 11 labs create a speech synthesis. Select from the list. Now I do have a bunch of folders for just video creation. So make sure you've got one if you need to pause and create one, and also make sure you're using your correct Google Drive, whichever one you want to use. I'm going to use my tailor-made one. The new folder location, if you've got one, I've got short tips videos. That's my, and then article to video. That's it. So wherever you have it housed, if you don't have that, or you can use it as a Dropbox, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to click save. Why it does that every once in a while, who knows? So we need to upload the file, but then we need to create a link. I'm going to add a module, and it's going to be Google Drive again. And here it is, get a share link. So we need to have the link that we put into our Google Sheet. File ID is just coming from the previous Google Drive. The role is reader. The type, instead of user, because then you'll need an email address, we're going to say anyone, so anyone with the link. Now, what's important with your Google Drive, if you are creating a folder, make sure the folder is set that anyone that is shared, right? Like that anyone can use it. We're going to say no to file discovery, so Google doesn't index it, but that's what it is, right? So if you have the folder set to shareable, then anything that goes in that folder will be shareable. So now what we can do is we're not going to put in a Google Sheets update the range. We'll do that at the very end. But now what we do is we have all of the information that we need to feed into our Shotstack video, the template we just built. Okay, so in this Shotstack module, make sure you have your connection. You just click and add. It's a real simple authentication for that. Now the short clips, the template, make sure you've got the right template. Article to video is the one we just created, and it's showing up on the list already. So these are the merge fields, if you recall. Remember, we talked about those merge fields when building it out. So the narration is coming from 11 Labs, but what we're going to use is our Google Drive link. And then everything else is coming from that Google Sheet. So the narration, that's the voiceover, is going to come from we need to have this file. No, I think we need to have the link. Sorry. I keep thinking file ID. There we go. Web content link. Use the web content link. Boom. That's just going to feed into your Shotstack. Clip 1, we're going to go back here. It's going to be one of these that we're going to select, but I don't remember what the name is because we haven't run this yet. So clip 1 is in J. So we're going to click J. Clip 3. So it's skipped clip 2 because we changed that out at the last. It's different than a video clip, right? So clip 3 is in N, and P is clip 4. So that's it. We're just going to go N. This one is going to be P. And then the clip 2 will be, what is it again? Image link is L. So it's going to come from this second L. And that's everything that you need to feed into your Shotstack. It's coming in, and then that will feed in to be able to run that thing. So now that we've got the Shotstack done, the next, just from our template here, this is a sleep module. So we're just going to give it 120 seconds. So this is in seconds, so 2 minutes just to kind of rest. And then we're looking for the render ID, the render status of the video, because we want to make sure that it actually renders. It does take a little bit of time, not a ton of time, usually renders pretty quickly, but that's why we put the sleep just in case. So then we've got this router because we want to check in to see, did it actually render? At the top here, this is to put it to sleep again in case it didn't render yet. We may need to give it a bit more time. So the first arm here is that if it's in progress, then the status from that says in pro. So if that render status is still in progress, we're going to put it to sleep again, right? We're going to give it a little bit more time to let it kind of go. And then we're going to repeat this, get a render status, right? So from the same, it's going to be the same as before. And then another router to see like if the render status fails, right? Or if it goes through. So basically what we're saying is that if it's done, we're going to keep going. If it's not done, like even if it's in progress, we're going to consider it failed, because that would have been probably about 5 minutes, and it shouldn't take that long. There's an issue with the render. So then with this, what we're going to do, so we're just going to go to the failed. So this says, you know, update, make sure we're updating our connection. And in fact, go content calendar, and it's going to be our eShorts. I'm not sure if it's going to be cell S, so we're just going to scroll down. This is why I do A to Z, because we don't have to scroll incredibly far. Render status is S, so that worked out really well. So it's S, and then 1 is this II. This is from the increment function. That's how we can kind of label it out. But what I might do here is I might just actually, instead of just updating that cell, I'm going to update the entire row. So this connection should be the same connection because we're following on from that Google Sheet. Content calendar, yeah. So instead of just the cell, it's going to be the entire row. It's going to be this eShorts, and then the row number is going to come from our increment function again, all the way down. There we go. So that whole row, table contains headers, yes. And so these are the things that we're going to update. We're going to update our 11 Labs clip, because that's what I almost forgot there was the 11 Labs clip. But we're going to get this share link from the Google Drive, right? Because we took the 11 Labs. You can skip this if you don't want to use 11 Labs. The other thing that we're going to update here is the render status as failed. We're going to call that failed. So because we're updating 2 different cells, I want to make sure that I'm going to just delete that module then. So this way I'm able to update more than 1 cell at a time, right? So if I update a row, and now what I can do is I can clone this, and I'm going to put this down here, because this is if it failed. Nope, I didn't mean to rename it. I meant to delete it. So basically, because of our router, we've got it if it's in progress, failed, or done. So this is, see, we've got this updating and failed updating. So that's perfect. So we want to make sure that we're updating the 2 cells. Those should be exactly the same anyway. Now here, what we're going to do, so if it's done after our pause, this is where it's going to take a little bit more wiggling, because I'm going to, you don't have to, but what I'm going to do is directly from here, we're going to post it to LinkedIn. We're going to do our LinkedIn post and our YouTube video directly from here. So now what we're going to do is search files folders. The folder that I have, if you have several, I'm going to just delete these. Again, you just hold down Shift and select. I'm going to delete that module. So this Google Drive, this goes into the one of my Google Drives, one of my Google accounts. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this file. So I'm going to search for the file, right? Search within file folder names. This is the render ID. You can also leave that blank. So we're going to download that file and just use that file ID. That's all we're going to do, is we're going to download it, because I need to move it actually out of there. I want to put it into a different folder. So this is if you want to move it. You don't have to do this if you're happy with it being You will have to do a download, but you don't have to move this. So these next couple of modules you can skip if you're just using one central drive, which makes a whole lot more sense. So because I'm downloading, I got to upload it now to a different Google Drive for me. So I'm going to just select from the list, and I've got to make sure that I'm using the right one here. I want to put it in this one. It's going to be the middle one. I was messing about with them. As that happens, I got to clean this out. I'm a little unorganized with all of my connections. So see this one, this is going into my Podorable Finds because that's what I automatically have connected in Shotstack, which is what I use for another automation that is set. Like I post to those socials all the time. So I'm going to go into my short tips, videos, article to video, and instead of the 11 labs, no, I want this downloaded file. So this is the actual video that we've got. So we're uploading what we just downloaded from the other Google Drive into another Google Drive. That's all that this is doing. So now that I'm going to create a share link from there, or update. I'm going to rename it. It's going to be a weird name. So the file ID is going to come from the previous module. Updated file name, I'm just going to call it, like if it's 2.3.4.mp4, right? So you don't have to put in the extension, thankfully. So there we go. So what I've done is I've just kind of moved it over, and now I've changed the name, so you can kind of not worry about these pieces because I've just moved it and changed the name. You can change the name, update the file. And then what I'm going to do is update my Google Sheet. I definitely want to update my Google Sheet, but I'm going to put in a Dropbox because I find that Dropbox is a little bit more reliable when you're posting to YouTube. You don't have to. I just personally find it a bit more reliable. So I can just go to that download file. That's fine. And in my Google Drive, I've got AI stuff, Shotstack videos, and the article to video. So there it is. It just took a second to come up. And this Google Drive download file. I don't want the speech synthesis. And there we go. And next, what we'll do is I'll add in another Dropbox just because I want to make sure that I get the link that I can put in both my Google Sheet as well as feed into the Google Sheet so that I've got a record of it in my Google Sheet. And also I will update the, I'll be able to use this as well just in case I wanted to be able to find it again. Download a file. We map the file path, and then the file path is going to be from the previous Dropbox module, the file folder ID. I hope this isn't cutting off on your screen, but just click OK. There we go. So now we've got our Dropbox, we've uploaded it, and now we got to download it again in order to get it into, make sure that that's there. Okay, save. Now what we can do is we're going to add in, move this over a little bit, a router. So this is our flow control. We're going to put in our router because what we're going to do is we're going to post it now. Just from here, we're going to post it to, we've got YouTube and we've got LinkedIn as well. But we'll start with YouTube, upload a video. Make sure you have your YouTube connected. I've got 2 different accounts, of course. Now the title, we're just going to do the Dropbox download file because I personally find it a little bit more stable. And then the title, and the reason why we have to use Dropbox is because that's what's linked in Shotstack, but it could be anything else. Like if you've got AWS or whatever is your file. I'm going to say the title. I'm going to keep the title AI in business, and I think I'll number it, and I'll number it based on the increment function. That way each title will be slightly different. There we go. That's it. Dropbox download a file. The video category, I usually put this, you can put, I mean, whatever kind of makes sense. This is kind of what makes probably the most sense for my channel. I'm going to put it as private for now. You can have it as unlisted, or you can just go ahead with it. You can put in description, etc. Like all of this would have to be in your Google Sheet, but you can put in all of these different things as if you were to upload into YouTube anyway. But I'm just going to leave that all blank. But if you have it unlisted, click save. If you have it unlisted, then or private, you can update it from there if you wanted to. Next, I'm going to put in LinkedIn because we're going to put in our LinkedIn post. Yep, create a text post. I've already got my connection. I've only got one LinkedIn, thank goodness. And the content is going to come way back here from our Google Sheet from the beginning of our workflow. And it is, I think, F. Yeah, LinkedIn post is F. So it's going to come from, because not that one, it's from the get the range of values. It's going to come from F. We can leave it public. You can change this. Only my connections, viewable, only whatever you want. Is reshare disabled? No, it's kind of a double negative. This means it can be reshared. It's weird how they do it that way. And then the media type, you can say article or whatever, but I'm just going to leave that blank. It's not mandatory. And then I'll click save. So now it'll go to YouTube and to LinkedIn, and then I'm going to update my row. Update a row in Google Sheets. It's going to be that Google, make sure you've got the right connection, of course. And then what we'll do is we'll just select that row. My drive, here we go. So it's going to be this content calendar, and of course, the spreadsheet, or the sheet name, sorry, it's going to be this eShorts. The row number, we're going to use the increment function so that we've got the right row all the way to the bottom. Table contains headers, yes. Now what we're going to be updating here is going to be the status, and we need our 11 Labs clip. I don't want to forget this one, actually. We have to scroll all the way back because we have so many modules in here. So it was before the Shotstack, remember? Just before that is this get a share link. Oh, it jumped on me. So that's from the 11 Labs. And then there was the one Google module to get it into there, and then to get the share link. So we want to update our Google Sheet with that. We want to update our the template video. We want the video that we just received, or just created, right? And put into our Dropbox and Google. Unfortunately, there's a lot of scrolling. There we go. So I'm just going to use this web content link. That's for the template of video. So at least I have got a copy of that. The render status is going to come from, if it goes through here, we know that it's been rendered. We just say rendered. Is it LinkedIn approved? Yes, yes, if you want to. There we go. And then we just click save. So all of this whole arm right here, all of that, we can just, if we hold down our shift and click that. So now see how that's all, I can just do Control C and then Control V to copy and paste it. And then that whole thing will just drag down here. And then I can just unlink. And I'll link this back in here. Boop. Don't worry, I'll get this organized properly. There we go. And then I can just delete. Shift and select all of that, delete it. And then my little magic auto align. There we go. So it really is. It's just a copy and paste because it's fundamentally doing the exact same thing. It's going down the same line. It's just that this one is after a second rest in case it's still in progress. This is going to be the exact same thing. And you can just go in here and double check to make sure that everything is appropriate, or everything's linked properly, but it's the exact same modules, the exact same vibe. So this is pretty much it. You don't have to go right from the very first module, but there we go. I'm going to click a quick save here. There. Now, with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of reset this, just make sure that it's reset. After one cycle, I'm changing it to after one cycle and run this module only because we want to flush it through. You can see that that's one, and I'm going to change it to never. And then what it's going to do, we're going to right click and we're going to click on run this module only, and that goes through the header row. So now once we click run once, it'll start from row 2, which is where all of the content that we need to feed into things like Shotstack, etc., and all of these updates are going to go. So if I click this run once, we can just let her rip and see what happens. I'm going to zoom in here. Now we've got the Shotstack module. This does take a minute or so to go through, and then we've got a 2-minute rest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause right now so that we don't have to sit here and stare at each other for two or 3 minutes. Right, so we're back and we're just going to let this continue to bake through. Beauty of editing, right? And again, we've got this pause just to give Shotstack a chance to be able to fully render the video. These are pretty short videos, so it shouldn't really take that long. There we go. Now that it's done, it's going through our Google Drive. So it rendered perfectly fine, which is great. So now we're going to update the file. We're going to put it through our Dropbox, and now it's going to go into YouTube. That was fast. The posting was really, really fast. So let's check out our handiwork. So here is the article to video. Let's see, I'm going to just refresh my YouTube channel. See the channel content behind the scenes. Just going to click on this. You can see it's private. It's barely even there.
AI is transforming Canadian businesses. But without a clear AI policy, companies risk data exposure, legal troubles,
there you go. You can see that it is.
It's not just
the video. It looks pretty good,
it's
actually.
about responsibility and reputation. The real question is, how soon can you implement your AI?
Now you can add in your description. You can see what the title is and all of that kind of stuff. But this is really from here. And now I'm in my LinkedIn. Let's see what the post looks like. Oh, I better hit refresh. I put a lot of posts on LinkedIn too. Oh. And there it is. See, this is the article that I looked at, and this was just posted, as you can see, 1 minute ago as well, so not too shabby. And then finally, now of course all of this is going to be linked in the description below, all of these templates, etc., so you can just go from there. I'm just going to auto align it. And now what we also have, okay, that was the article, the video. I just clicked to refresh on that as well. We can see the video is there. And let's take a look. I want to take a look at the Google Sheet so we can see that if that update, look, it's updated to post it there. Everything else is filled in. We've got our template video link. We see it's run. I said yes instead of true. See, these are check boxes. So see where that says true or false? I'm just going to copy those. There. And if I click it, it turns to true. I should have said true instead of yes, but I can go back and fix that, and it will be fixed. There we go. Okay, so there you have it. You can go from an article with your thoughts to a faceless video. Now, it does take a little bit of time to set it up, but once it's set up, that's it. You set it up once, you can forget it, and you can have this run completely on autopilot. Linked in the description below, you're going to find the template for the Shotstack video as well as the workflow for make.com. So go ahead, grab that if you want to, sort of recreate it, or you can go ahead and build it on your own. Either way, I hope you found it incredibly helpful. And if you did find it helpful, it really does help my channel. It helps me continue to create this content if you hit that subscribe button and the like button. Next week, I am not going to be producing a video for next week. I actually have family coming in to visit from out of town, and I'm super excited about it. But I will be back the following week, so make sure that you check out my next videos. Until next time, thank you so much, and happy creating.